Then we get on to, oh boy, um, Adam Pearce, who we saw was allowing Drew McIntyre to come back to Raw this week after being indefinitely suspended, also asking CM Punk to stay home, which I was shocked that actually happened. I did not think that was going to happen. I also thought Drew was going to show up last week, and that didn't happen. So, whatever. But Pierce recruited 2 referees to come to the ring with him. And once he had Drew McIntyre come out, who was walking around very arrogantly. So I kind of was like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Why are you so confident? And we first see he's just playing Adam Pearce's game, being sorry for what he did by putting his hands on Mr. Pierce. But then Pierce takes it a little bit too far by demanding that McIntyre apologizes to Mr. I don't know when to stop self-tanning referee and Dracula referee. And
you don't put your hands
ends
on
up
an
getting
official.
to he looks like Dracula. Do you not remember that Michael Cole thing? He was like, I find it weird that it was
Yeah.
it was like there's a monster among monsters and the referee is Dracula. It looks like Dracula. That was funny.
Good.
I can't unsee it now. So every time I see him, I'm like, oh, it's Dracula. So Pierce then threatens, saying, okay, if you do not apologize to these referees, like you're going to be suspended again indefinitely. Like that's just how it is. Drew makes it seem like he's going to apologize to them,
really
and then he says, I'm apologizing to
nobody.
nobody. And he goes off about how, he wouldn't have done any of that if CM Punk hadn't gotten involved in his match again. Nobody stopped him. There was no security. There was nothing to ensure that he did not get involved in his 3rd championship match since WrestleMania, which Punk has gotten himself involved in every single time. There's some sort of, he didn't say this, but it's basically, it feels like there's a conspiracy against McIntyre right now. And Adam Pearce wants none of it. He's saying, you're being petty, you're doing this, you're doing that, blah, blah, blah. You just need to apologize. And Drew is just not interested. He lays his hands on the referees. And to me, I'm sitting here and I'm like, they're chanting CM Punk, he's getting booed. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, guys, like, this is how we were talking about when Drew first started doing this more heelish turn after Punk was hurt at the Rumble. How can you be mad at what Drew is saying? Like, take CM Punk out of this, right? Like, you don't have to be a CM Punk fan or not a CM Punk fan.
All right, I'll take my CM Punk hat off.
If you're looking at what Drew is mad about, how can you be angry at his reaction? You can't. He's so justified in being mad that his match got interfered with again. Like, and he's
same person every time.
Yes. And so it's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, take it out that it's CM Punk. It could be literally anybody else. It doesn't matter. It's like,
it actually could literally be anybody else.
It's so justified for him to be pissed off that he's had 3 chances at the world title since WrestleMania, and it's always ended outside of his control. And nobody has done anything to prevent it from happening. No one has done anything to the person that is responsible for it. There was no efforts to stop it before it happened, while it was happening, after it happened, nothing. And we're supposed to hate Drew because he's mad? I'm like, this man's character is too rooted in like common sense logic really for me to be like, I hate him. I can't do it. And it makes me laugh that other people do hate him for this. So I'm like, how?
Because the people who hate him are the CM Punk loyalists who are going to live, breathe, and die by the,
CM Punk sword. Yeah.
CM Punk. Like, I love the guy as much as the next person, but with everything you're saying, that's what makes me love this entire feud so much more. Like, the fact that, CM Punk gets involved, all right, he's fine. Drew McIntyre is also not only fined, but suspended because he bowed at him. Like, it's the little stuff that takes it too far, in my eyes, like, that he's getting punished for. And that's what he's pissed off about, because, like, I'm just like, how would you react? Like, put yourself in my shoes.
Punk would be doing the same.
Oh my God, that's worse.
Or worse.
Have we not watched early 2010s Punk? It's pretty good. It's pretty damn good.
That's the irony in the entire situation, is like they want
That's
to
what's
paint Drew to be this bad guy. And I'm not saying he's innocent,
not
but
innocent, but he's definitely not
yeah, because the thing is
100%
like,
guilty.
if anybody else were doing what Punk is doing, how would they handle it? That's the other question. And I think that's kind of a valid point that Drew has somewhat alluded to. In, you guys are brainwashed by Punk, it's this and that, like you're acting like he's untouchable, you're not doing anything because it's CM Punk. And I think that's a fair accusation,
It is a
because it
fair
does
accusation.
feel like if it were almost anybody other than CM Punk, they would have been handed harsh repercussions. Maybe they would have been suspended instead of Drew. It maybe never would have gotten to a point of Drew getting suspended and elbowing Adam Pearce and whatever. So I do think that this has to mean that there's going to be some sort of, I don't know if there's like an epiphany or something, where we're going to finally see that Punk is in the pockets of the GM or the higher ups or something, that there is maybe some sort of active attempt at screwing Drew McIntyre or something. There's going to be something, because you don't keep bringing this up. You don't act like CM Punk is completely innocent and Drew is the bad guy if there isn't going to be some sort of development in this way. That might be looking too much into it, but I feel like that is kind of a part of the story that can't be ignored, because there are weirdos like me that pick up on this and are going to be really irritated if it's never addressed, So I hope that this means that something is going to come of it.
Mr. Anderson is asking the same question that you are.
Yes.
Why are we? Why?
Because
I don't know.
That's why I'm telling you, last week when he was saying, when Punk was like, oh, they also find me, boy, this is you trying to save face. That's what I was saying. They were trying to make it, because they saw that people were saying, and Cody even alluded to it in his interview with Chris Van Vliet, that Triple H sees everything. Everything that we say online, in live streams, on Twitter, everything, they see it. Triple H sees it. So to me, they saw that people were like, wait, why is nothing being done to Punk? Why are there not instant referees and security and GMs out there telling him to get out of the match or whatever? Like, why is there nothing happening?
They're dealing with the Wyatt Six.
And this is their way of being like, no, see, we did find Punk. See, it's fair. That's what it felt like to me, because it was so brushed over. It was so just like nonchalant, not made out to be a big deal. That was like their way of trying to like make it okay. But it's like, it's not true. It's
like their it's like their logic for why Brock attacked Cody Monday after the Raw after Mania. It was like, oh, he was pissed it was Spawn. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Spawn the card? Like, what
I know.
is this?
It's also like, you wanted to be first on the card, Lesnar, because you wanted out, but let's forget about that part.
Oh my god, it's incredible.